Now, one person has been killed at an immigration detention centre in Papua New Guinea during a second night of violence. Australia owns the Manus Island facility, which it uses to process the refugee applications of asylum seekers who are intercepted at sea. Andrew Thomas reports.
The pressure had been growing for days. This footage is from Sunday, when asylum seekers rioted after, apparently, being told their applications to be considered as refugees weren't being assessed. On Monday, the rioting got worse.
There were 13 serious injuries. There was one critical injury, and there is one person who is deceased.
But exactly how and where the injuries happened isn't clear.
The asylum seekers inside the centre are claiming that they were attacked by locals and the local PNG police.
Australia's government and G4S, the security company that runs the camp, deny that. They say the injuries happened after detainees broke out. Either way, the riot brings back into the spotlight Australia's controversial policy of offshore processing of refugees.
The centre on Manus Island absolutely needs to be closed. We investigated there in November. We found serious human rights failings in that centre. We put a number of recommendations to the Australian government, but ultimately what needs to happen is people need to be processed on the Australian mainland in keeping with Australia's international human rights obligations.
That isn't going to happen, says Australia's government. Their policies are deliberately tough, turning back boats of refugees at sea and sending those that do arrive to remote camps in other countries for indefinite detention may be controversial, but even after this latest riot, those policies are not going to change.
Australia's government won an election last year on a promise to stop the boats, whatever it took. And although they disagree on details, Australia's main opposition Labour Party broadly supports the tough regime. Most Australians, politicians have decided, want them to maintain the deterrence. If some of the world's most desperate have to suffer as a result, well, that's tough, but inevitable. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Sydney.